Hello, welcome back. You're now on Module 4, and we're talking about Cyber Threat Landscape. This is your lead instructor, General Washington, CEO of Cortex Solutions, and you're here on behalf of ACSMI. We're going to be talking about the Cyber Threat Landscape, but what does that really mean? Think about building that foundation like we talked about from the beginning. The threat landscape is going to refer to the potential risk of a cyber attack and how actors they could utilize and compromise such aspects of security just by sending a payload that actually has some form of malware in it. They could try to affect the confidentiality, gain unauthorized access, the integrity, actually tamper with that data, or the availability, make a server non-responsive. So it's on our best interest to ensure that as the landscape grows in complexity, we also grow in our knowledge and evolution of how to defend against any type of threats that are coming. Cybersecurity professionals, they face this constant shift and struggle, ensuring that that environment is safe from malicious actors, nation states, hacktivists, even insider threats. Because again, it's all going to boil down to the fact of, well, do you know what attacks affect what? We talked about it before, different types of malware. Think about the WannaCry ransomware. It's all about taking data, ensuring that no one has access to it because it has been encrypted. And that threat actor, that nation state will have the decryption key for that. The different types of cyber threats, I would say it really depends upon, what is the use case? What is the threat actor really after? So if you understand the various types, then you can understand how will it best be utilized in the environment that I am in. There are tons of threat actors. Nation states, hacktivists, cyber criminals, they all have one goal in mind: to disrupt. Maybe some form of espionage. Maybe just to give some awareness around the agenda that they really just don't like. That's just what a hacktivist is. Or an insider threat. That's all about, I know all this information, now I'm going to use it against the organization because, they made me upset. Right? I mean, there are more reasons as to why you want to do that, but I'm just saying, just knowing that there are different threat vectors and attack surfaces, remember that security posture, that term that we always talk about, it's essential to understand, what is that? What is a vector? A vector is an entry point for an attacker. It could be through phishing emails, right? It could be through the use of vulnerable applications, not secure devices, or IoT devices like that refrigerator that we talked about not being hardened. Now, you're not going to want to go around hardening your refrigerators. It doesn't come that way. By default, it has open ports to interact with the environment around it. But know that risk management plays a really big key in this because it's all about how can we manage the risk. We know that there are risks. We know that there are exploits. So how can we manage that? How can we understand that from the aspect of an APT, that they're in it from the long run? They're really in it to ensure that while I'm going to have a backdoor to establish persistence, I'm going to gain initial access to the use of phishing. That's just one way. But ideally, there's a life cycle to this. You gain initial access. You establish that persistence, that backdoor. You can always come in and out. And even some APTs will even update your system. Hey, nothing's wrong. I'm all updated. I have all my patches, but hey, there is something going on. There's a rootkit involved. There's something involved. Threat intelligence is the ability to provide some actionable insights into what potential threats may be doing or using. You want to leverage the MITRE ATT&CK framework. It's really, really in-depth, and it's really great to understand the indicators of compromise. Now, there are tools out there, some provided by Cisco, some provided by some other organizations, but they allow you to see the indicators of compromise, and they map it back to the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Think of Cisco AMP, for instance, Advanced Malware Protection. This is one of those ways where it's going to say, hey, this is an indicator of compromise because it's a malicious IP address. That's an indicator. Right? So you want to put together these reports regarding what are you seeing. If you're on this case, what are you looking at? Now, the emergent threats, like we talked about before, it's all about something that's in the future, ongoing, coming to. The emerging threat as in AI-driven attacks, more AI automated reconnaissance, more deepfake videos for social engineering, just to kind of, really fast track the aspect of getting the information through the form of phishing. Let's talk about a real world example. So let's talk about the identifying of a phishing campaign. Now, the scenario here is an employer receives a suspicious email appearing to be from their bank, But by using threat intelligence, the organization recognizes that the sender's domain is similar but slightly altered. So some tools that will help understand more about phishing, because it has education alongside with that, is PhishMe. And you also have the ability to conduct phishing campaigns, all in an effort to educate, to bring awareness to the aspect. The impact, though, could be that, hey, it prevents credential theft if we are utilizing these resources responsibly, and reinforces that employee training. I talked about the awareness. It's really just about being aware that, hey, something is happening. But it's been great. You have now just tuned into the cyber threat landscape. Again, this is your lead instructor, Gennaro here, CEO of Cortex Solutions, brought to you by ACSMI. I do hope you have a great one, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.